Continue now with the lead story. The head of the IRS under President Obama visiting the White House 157 times. Joining us from Washington, Democrat and Fox News analyst Kirsten Powers. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how do you rate this revelation about Mr. Shulman?
About a 2, actually. And the reason for that is there's a couple of things that people need to bear in mind. First of all, it's a little disingenuous to say that he visited the White House that many times. What we know is that he was waived in. At the White House, I know this because I worked in the Clinton administration, you get waived in, but it doesn't necessarily mean you attended the meeting.
Okay,
so there
but
were
let me just
meetings.
stop you there for a moment.
Okay.
We compared people getting waived in. All of them. All of them. Hillary Clinton, Leon Panetta, right down the line. This guy had twice as many waived in, and any other cabinet member, any other person involved in the government.
Okay, well, let me address that for you. And look, I'm not saying that there isn't something here to look at.
Well, you gave it a 2, which is insignificant.
Based on what we know now. So if more information comes out, there's some things that could easily explain this. What could easily explain this is Obamacare, as your previous guest said. If there, we're talking 118 in 2011. That's a couple meetings a week. That's not actually that unusual that the White House would be holding regular meetings on healthcare policy. He might be invited, and he may or may not have gone. That's what I would like to know, actually. Did he attend these meetings? The other thing I want to address, Bill, is the comparison of the IRS commissioner to the Secretary of State or the Secretary of Defense is not a good comparison.
Well, how about to any of the other, how about to the Treasury Secretary, Commerce Secretary, anybody?
No, they're the Treasury Secretary, much bigger. They do not handle the kind of things that the IRS, head of the IRS would be handling.
I find this very hard to believe.
Hillary Clinton is not attending policy meetings and negotiations.
I find this very hard to believe that under President Bush for 4 years, the man we just talked to, Everson, was there once. And under President Obama, the guy is there 157 times. I mean, maybe they liked him. Maybe he's very personable.
Or maybe they had Obamacare.
Oh, but look, and that's legitimate. That Obamacare is legitimate. Not that many times. All right? He is not, Shulman did not drive Obamacare. He didn't drive it. He was part of the apparatus, as was the Commerce Secretary, the Labor Secretary, everybody else who weren't even there close to it. All I'm saying to you is this.
That's a bad comparison.
Why? Why?
Because it's not, you're elevating the IRS commissioner to something that he's not. That's not, I wouldn't compare it to that. I think it's more reasonable that he might be in meetings. I also
Why
will
wouldn't
not be
the other
surprised to find
secretaries
out
that are
he
more
did not
directly
attend all
involved
these
with
meetings.
Obamacare be there that many times? Why?
Why would what?
The other secretaries that are more involved, Secretary of Health, Secretary of the Treasury, Secretary of Commerce, why aren't they there as much as he is?
But because there were so many implications for taxes that it would make sense that he would be invited to these meetings.
He is invited to the tune of twice as many as anybody else. The second one is the acting Commerce Secretary. She's the second one.
I just reject the comparison of the head of the IRS to the Secretary of State.
I think this is tortured logic that you're giving us.
I don't think that those are. Okay, let's get to what you're trying to get at then.
Right.
Are we supposed to believe that he was showing up twice a week in 2011 to scheme against the Tea Party? Is that really what you're suggesting?
Look, the election that the Tea Party influenced, all right, was 2011, was it not?
Yeah.
Was it not? Okay.
Right. But I just want to be clear. You really think he was showing up at the White House twice a week to scheme against the Tea Party?
The Tea Party took Congress away from the president in 2011. Yeah. All right?
Okay.
And I think there were some people steamed about that. And I think that circumstantial evidence has got to be explained by Shulman. And if he does the Easter egg thing again, I think you start to throw Easter eggs at him.
Look, he's not a person that's easy to defend.
Who you met with and what you discussed. Look, the White House has a log, Powers. They have a log. He was here to discuss this with that. Why don't we have that log? Why don't we have it?
Well, actually, I mean, you mean what meetings he went to? I mean, first of all, the Bush administration sealed their logs, and now you're attacking the Obama administration who releases their logs?
This is a scandal. And it could be easily explained.
They're about a million times more transparent with their logs. And the thing I want you to remember, Bill, is you got to be careful about pinning this on the White House when there isn't a shred of evidence.
I'm not pinning it on anybody. I want the information.
But you're saying there's now this circumstantial evidence. He was there in 2011. I mean, how about the fact that there's zero evidence that he ever had a conversation about it?
I can't believe I'm hearing this from you. They have a log. They know why he was there. They know who he met with and what he discussed. Put it out. Put it to rest.
I think they should, and I think that you'll probably find out that they were Obamacare meetings. Or do you really think there's a meeting that says
why isn't it out there
scheming
now?
against the Tea Party?
This has been a scandal for weeks. Why isn't it out now?
Because the idea that because he was in the White House having meetings that
Tell
means
us what
that
the
somehow
meetings
they were
were. We're
plotting
paying
against the
for
Tea
them.
Party is pretty weak.
Powers,
honestly.
we're paying for the meetings. Tell us what they were about. Put the scandal to bed. Come on.
I love transparency, and I'm all about releasing things. And I actually think that they should unseal all the Bush
I want you to
stuff
go
as
over
well.
there tomorrow and get those logs for me.
I'm on it.
Kirsten Powers, everybody.